Hey, so I wanted to do a video on really how to evolve this water treatment process to the next level in a logical way. Now, the idea of installing permanent fixtures, semi-permanent fixtures in my home, um, for what would largely amount to an experiment seems semi irrational, because while I do notice a difference, it's not like the water lit on fire, you know. um, I'm open to the possibility that I'm experiencing a placebo, and if that's the case, evolving this process along the same lines doesn't make sense. So, where I'm at right now is how I'd like to move forward, and that's three parts. I need to get something to test the dissolved oxygen in my water. If I can test the dissolved oxygen in my water, and I, let's say, add more magnets or take off the magnets I've already installed, and notice a change in the dissolved oxygen, and the actual chemistry of the water, which is what I'm trying to affect, um, then okay, it might make sense. Where I run into a problem is with the pump velocity uh, not matching full flow domestic velocity. You know, I might have a small recirc pump that's rated for domestic. I'm certainly not going to buy uh, a well pump, you know, to recirc this water. So there's going to be a question on if I go ahead and install a tank with a recirc pump on it, is that going to be sufficient velocity to induce the changes I may or may not measure with the test I want to do? Right? So, step one, test for dissolved oxygen. Step two, either add more magnets or remove magnets or both, and test at different velocities to see if I have a change in my dissolved oxygen. Third test. So this is a frequency generator. It's not an expensive one. I got this a while ago when I was experimenting with grounding sheets and how that affects my sleep. And what I wanted to do was to induce the brainwave frequencies that you experience during REM sleep through your skin while you're asleep. So that's literally why I bought this thing. I have conductive bed sheets and conductive pillowcases, and I was inducing a radio frequency. Uh, yeah, I was inducing a radio frequency at those uh, target frequencies to try to affect my sleep and my dreams. And it didn't have the effect I wanted, but I, still have the machine. So what this enables me to do as a kind of add-on experiment is at the upper end of this thing's absolute capacity, it can touch like 30, well, it can go up to like 99 gigahertz, but I can program in the resonant frequency of water. which is basically like the 5G thing. Only problem is my output voltage is only 5 volts. But that's extra, and that's at the resonant frequency of water. So another thing that I could do is wrap the pipe in an antenna and pump 5 volts of 28 to 45 gigahertz at 5 volts into the pipe right as it goes into the magnetic field. It's extra, but it might be a more effective way to move forward. And the reason I think that is obvious. It's targeted at the molecule I'm trying to target with the correct frequency, so I can input power directly to that frequency or directly to that molecule, and I'm not dependent on secondary catalysts inducing an electric field, because I'm generating that myself. I might do that in combination with the other stuff I'm doing, but I do think it's smart to test what I've already made, and if I can't test a difference, it may not be worth enriching. Now here's the other side of it. I might see no detectable change in a single, double, or triple pass of magnets. But if I were to recirculate and that recirculation speed was sufficient, I might see an accumulation that happens pretty rapidly that is testable. So I might have to, if this fails, I might have to come up with a pressurized closed loop that I can test just that water, because I do think it's important that it's under pressure. So just pouring water over something magnetic isn't going to do it. Electrolysis requires energy, and that's understood. And I think that trying to dissociate this molecule from itself is going to require a significant amount of energy. So under pressure and having those molecules reabsorbed into the water, so it affects the chemistry of the water throughout the house, with the ultimate goal of achieving O4 molecules, stable, non-reactive, long-lived liquid oxygen. That's the goal, at least in the parts per million range. I just don't know how I'm going to get there, and I'm hesitant to feel like I've accomplished something, and I really do need to invest in more test equipment. It's just unfortunate because honestly, I could spend $250 on test equipment or $250 on a tank and a pump, and I'm not sure if the more viable option moving forward is direct treatment of the water, like let's say at the point of use, with a frequency generator, or to continue down this magnet path. Because quite frankly, products out there that are making it happen are using electrical inputs. It's the truth. Does that mean you have to have electrical inputs? No, probably not. But I may need 300 psi. I may need 300 psi, and I may need $500 worth of magnets and a reset pump. I don't know, but I know I'm on the right path.